Hello, guys. This is Angela with Angela's Busy Bees Garden and Homestead. How are you guys doing? I hope you all are doing well. As you can see, guys, it's lots of snow out here. But that's not what I'm on this video about today. But I'm just going to show you what it looks like out here with all of this snow. Guys, it is really snowing. The roads are even covered. Lots of snow today. But guys, what I want to share with you today is that I will be participating in the MIG Grow Off 2022, and that is Men in the Garden. And so what I'm going to do is I will be using this area, which is my balcony off of my bedroom. And my goal for this year is to not only have my tropicals that are houseplants here in Growing Zone 7A Tennessee, but I will be having my tropicals, my flowers, but I'm also going to be adding some leafy vegetables, some edible flowers such as calendula, nasturtiums, and maybe a couple of others. But also I want to add some spearmint or peppermint and herbs as well. So it's going to be everything about gardening and growing food this year. So my balcony is going to include all of that in addition to the beautiful flowers that I love so much here on the homestead. But what I will be growing in the MIG Grow Off 2022, I will take you along and share that with you. Here it is, guys. Here are some of my starts that I started about 3 weeks ago now, and or maybe 4 weeks now. I have my curly kale. I have some spinach, more curly kale, and over here in the back is my Swiss chard. So for the Grow Off Challenge, I will be planting curly kale. And if you watch my video about a week ago, these plants were not as tall. In fact, I was using pint-sized cans to hold up my shop light. But as you can see now, I have replaced the pint-sized can with a gallon-sized can. And as you can see, they are already starting to touch that light as well. But I'm not ready to harden off these just yet because as you've noticed, we've got snow again today. And so this is not an opportune time for me to expose them to the outdoors as of yet. But I will share with you what I will be growing my kale in for the challenge. Okay, guys, these are some planters that I purchased from Lowe's that had these orange mums in. And of course, I got it on clearance. I never paid $26.98 for anything if I can avoid it. But I will be growing my kale plant in this one, and I'll have another kale plant in this one because I like symmetry. But in determining how much space is needed to grow a kale plant, it is recommended that if you are growing inside of a container, that you need at least 12 inches across. And as you can see here, it is about a foot, which is the 12 inches across. And so that is the ideal pot size that I want to use. If I was growing kale inside of a raised bed, 12 inches is also required. If I was growing it in a traditional row, traditional gardening, they suggest 18 to 24 inches apart. Now, there's a reason why spacing is so important, and I want to share that with you for just a minute. But if you have adequate space, it means that your plant can really grow well and have enough space whereby the leaves can get sufficient sunlight. And sufficient sunlight results in healthier plants. And I'll just turn the camera to outside so you can watch the beautiful snow as I continue to talk. But another reason why spacing is so important is because when it's less crowded, it makes it easier to inspect your plants for cabbage worms or other pests. Also, it allows good airflow around the leaves, which helps to ward off fungal diseases. And it makes it easier to spot the first signs of the disease, which is very important for your plants. And if you do have an outbreak with some type of disease, the little extra room that you've provided your plant will help you to inspect the inspected plant and isolate it. Or this way you can quickly treat or remove them and prevent the disease from spreading. So that's another thing to consider. Also, crowded vegetables compete for nutrients and water, in which if some are not getting enough nutrients or water, they will wilt or die back. And what I've also found out, guys, is that crowding plants will not increase your yield. And I have learned this from so much experience trying to densely plant my turnips or my mustards. You know, I put so many seeds, in my raised beds, and it does not increase my yield at all. In fact, I think if I was to transplant my mustard greens or turnips into the raised bed where I can control the spacing, that my yield would be much better. So going forward, that's what I will be doing. Also, guys, what you want to consider also is the fact that when you overcrowd your plants in containers or in raised beds, it makes it a little difficult to harvest because the leaves will get all tangled up and you'll be pulling some things out of the soil trying to harvest the leaves that you're trying to reach. And so when I considered the challenge and what I wanted to plant, my first mind was to just put a whole lot of seeds in one pot and see what happens. But then I was reminded of the importance of spacing. So I thought I'd share that with all of you because you know me, I am in this game to win. But thank you so much. I want to thank Men in the Garden. I want to thank Broke Farmer, Turf Therapy, and also Lioncrest Outdoors for coming up with such a wonderful challenge and a way that we can all grow and learn together. Thank you so much, guys. God bless. Bye-bye.